Hello, welcome. Welcome to our Tamburi Monday, the first meeting of our online channel that will probably the next 8 or 10 weeks. We will have every Monday meeting. We will invite frame drummers from different countries, from different regions with different instruments, with different musical approaches. And also we will invite some drum makers, instrument makers, also from really different countries. We will use this opportunity and have a meeting, have a talk, small talks, talk about personalities, about the development of each individual musician, about musical ideas, about compositions, and also, of course, about the music, about the drumming itself, and about different rhythms. We will have some rhythm training. We will learn some small compositions so that, for example, today we start the beginning, and we will continue the next weeks, so that every week you can prepare little parts and then continue step by step. And I hope you will enjoy our channel. And so if you have any ideas, any suggestions, if you say, oh, this would be a nice topic, or this isn't very interesting, maybe a young percussionist, young frame drum player, and so maybe someone not discovered already, you can also send us your suggestions. And so this can be a platform for each of these younger musicians also. And so it's not only the youngers, but this is especially for musicians that are really not really known, not are very famous in the frame drum world. But of course, we will have also some guests that are already longer in frame drumming, in the whole frame drum scene, so-called. And so this is the idea of the frame drum channel. So you can watch us on our YouTube channel. Also, if you missed something, or for example, if you have the feeling that you would like to repeat the KONNAKOL exercises of Francesco, so you have the opportunity to look again on the video and to repeat everything. So this is also a opportunity for you. Okay, so I would like to start already with our first guest, and she's from Norway. And I'm happy that, so it's the first time that we really meet each other. I mean, we talked already before, but now I'm happy to present Maria. Hello.
Hi, thank you for having me here.
Welcome, nice to see you.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
Great.
It's an honor. It's the first time.
Yes, it's the first time. That's right. So where are you exactly now?
Now I'm in my little studio. I live on a peninsula in the fjord of Oslo, just outside Oslo. And I have a teeny tiny house in the garden. And that's where I live, and my family, they live on the other side.
Nice, beautiful. So it's a dream for a musician, right?
Yeah, it's a dream. It's a true dream.
Yeah. So maybe one first question before we start, because I'm not sure about the pronunciation of your name. I'm very careful. I was always thinking, okay, Maria, maybe it's easy, but let me say the rest is a little secret for me.
Yeah, so as I say Bovin de Labbé.
Bovin de Labbé.
Oh, it's perfect.
Perfect, great.
Say perfect. Yeah.
And so this is not a typical Norwegian name, right?
No, and it's not. I'm Swedish, but I have lived in Norway for a long time. but it's not a typical Swedish name either. But Bovin is from my father, and he's super Swedish. But in Sweden, we have some French names. And Labbé is from my husband, and he's from Chile.
Ah, okay. Now I know
A
much
good mix.
more.
Yeah.
The secret is solved. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, as you said, your origin is from Sweden. You live in Norway. I think you went there to study classical percussion, right?
Yes, that's true.
Mhm. So I think your instrument there is a not only frame drums, but maybe we can start with the other instruments, because I think these instruments were before you played frame drums. Maybe we can start with your first instruments and then talk about frame drums. So what are your instruments?
Great idea. So the first time I sat down behind some drums, it was a drum kit, and I think I was 13, and it changed my life in the moment. It was like coming home. And then I played pop and blues and hard rock and some jazz, because I had a teacher and he always wanted me to play jazz. And after some years, I took, it was kind of a study course, it was half time. And then I started to sniff on the classic percussion. And I went on a summer course, and I just fell in love with everything. And for some years, playing in an orchestra was my everything. It was everything I wanted to do. So then I learned to play the marimba, vibraphone, all the classical instruments. So that's why I moved, as you said. I got a place at the conservatory in Oslo. It doesn't exist anymore. Now it's the Norwegian Academy of Music. So I moved here to study.
For me, biographies are so interesting, and because they are so individual, and you can, especially in the music, sometimes you can really hear the biography if you know a little bit more about person. So this is also the idea to talk with you, really, because I mean, meanwhile, you can see so much things on Facebook, on different social media, but at the end, it's you don't have time to really have the opportunity or to talk with someone, to go deeper a little bit. I mean, many people know maybe already what you do or listen already to your music, but I think so to have this opportunity. So in our channel, if someone is interested, also you can ask some questions, right? So
yeah, please do.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
I love questions.
So what exactly is your activity with frame drums?
Right now?
In general or right now? Yes. So
yeah. So in a way, when I found the frame drum, because as you said, I have a different background, and I had a break, quite a long break, where I didn't play music. Then I started to do art instead, and then I felt that I need my drums. And my way back was to take a master in music therapy. And then I started, of course, to work with the drums. And then I met Lane Redmond, because she had a workshop in Oslo. And that changed everything, I think, because that was my first step into the frame drumming world. And now I play a lot, I practice a lot. I have a vision of what I want to do, and I teach also. I have just started a new group, Mindful Drumming Stars, that is all about learning to play the frame drum, but I want to take all the levels into the into the group and into my teaching, and not only technical skills, but the emotional, the mental, the physical, and even the spiritual part. And it's I'm amazed because it really seeps into life in all ways. And for me, drumming is life, and it's also love.
Yeah, thank you. And so you are really fascinated by frame drums, by the sound, or what exactly is the fascinating moment? Can you describe it, or is it difficult for you?
No, I can. I think I can describe it. So what I love with the frame drum is it's the complexity in the simplicity. It's so simple, you can't hide. And also you can keep it really close. And that's nice. And I think it reveals a lot about the person. As you said, you went into it. I think really we should sound different because we have different backgrounds. And I shouldn't sound, in my mind, I shouldn't sound alike as someone who grew up in a completely different place with complete other influences. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I know we talked already before a little bit. I know that you also like the dance movements. That is very important for you, right?
Yeah. I don't dance much myself, but I love imagining how it would feel if I danced it. And I look at dance videos when no one watch me. And I have worked quite a lot with dancers, which I love. So it's something with the feeling in dance, the flow, the ease, that's what I like so much.
Yeah. And also when I watch your videos, I can see your movement are really very special, like a dancer more, right?
Thank you.
And maybe we can watch a video, just because only talking about movement and dance, it's not easy to imagine how it can look like. Maybe we can share one video. Butterflies.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, maybe you can say something about the composition before we watch the video.
Yeah, so butterflies, for me, butterflies symbolizes freedom and change, also transformation. And when I'm lucky, I have a lot of butterflies in my garden, and they amaze me so much.
Okay.
Yeah, so my wish is to talk with one day.
Great. Okay, I think we can start with our video. Butterflies.
Hey, lovely people. This is butterflies. Thank you for watching. See you.
Yes, thank you for watching. Thank you for playing. Thank you. Yes, I could hear the butterflies.
Thank you.
Yeah, especially this split hand technique. When I practice, you know, I always had the feeling this has something from a butterfly. That was because when I practice, I always try to find some imaginations of
Yeah,
movements. Yeah, and this
helps.
music also reminded me of the butterflies. Mhm.
Thank you so much.
So we have already some questions here.
Ah, great.
Yes. From where do you get your inspirations when you compose?
Oh, what a great question. So I get inspirations from I go around dreaming a lot, and I think about what I want to compose, and I look for images. Many times on Pinterest, for example, I search for words that I like, and I go. I'm after a feeling. So, for example, intense, and then I look up the word intense, and since I am the one who choose the pictures, it will say something about what I will express, and then even if it's a small piece like butterflies that is 2 minutes long, I go into a little process, and it gets deeper and deeper, and it takes me weeks and weeks to make sense and to really hear the melodies in it. And I always tell my students that we are going deeper and we are going lighter. So even if I compose a small little simple thing, I want to go deeper in it. And it's also now I thought I want to be able to play it and laugh at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's a nice approach. Yeah. So for you, let me say that the groove is not the first thing you think. It's more emotion, right?
Yeah.
So you don't say, okay, I will choose this groove, or I will choose this measure or this rhythm. It's not going.
No.
Like this. Yeah.
No. Many times the start can also be that I get a melody in my head and I try to play it on the frame drum.
Okay.
And then I find out, what time signature is this? And sometimes I have no idea.
Yeah. And so this, maybe the next question is connected with a little bit with the first. Who is your favorite classical composer for interesting percussion parts?
Oh, oh wow, that's a good question and a tough one because there's so many. But I mean, if we go back a little, maybe it's a bit old now, but it was cool. And Stravinsky, if you play classic music and you get to play a timpani part written by Stravinsky, that's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so Lorenzo's writing, oh yeah. You see Maria in the chat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we can maybe continue with one more question from the chat. Have you ever worked with the Norwegian percussionist? Please forgive me when I cannot read the right name. Terje Isungset.
Terje Isungset.
With his ice music.
No, I haven't. I haven't worked with him. I've heard his name, but he's not. I don't know him. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I saw in the chat now, Sache de Printemps. Oh, I say it wrong. The Rite of Spring. Yes, that's my favorite piece ever.
Yeah.
So you nailed it.
Great. And so when I went to your website, or when we talked also last time, so you there was one idea of mindful drumming.
Mm-hmm.
So is this maybe you can explain more? Is this a concept or a kind of philosophy. So maybe you can explain us what exactly you mean.
Yes, I'm happy to. Mindful drumming is a concept and it's an approach to drumming. So I founded this after I finished my master's studies, my master thesis at the Academy of Music here in Oslo, because one of the results I researched how pregnant women experience drumming. And I thought that that would be really good. But it was even better. And one of the results was a sense of timelessness, that time disappeared, and presence. And so presence is all about, mindfulness is all about presence, but it's also, as I see it, a very warm approach, non-judging. So now, since I've had this concept for a long time now, it's always moving forward. I don't like when things get stagnant, so I try to always go deeper here also and lighter. So it's an approach to drumming where we also connect with the body and with the mind, and we are aware of what we do, and also connecting to the instrument. And I also wanted to be in the word mindfulness lies also an approach that is non-judging, because I think I have met a lot of musicians, and a lot of them sadly have anxiety for different reasons. And I think it's really important when we teach to create a space where people can be who they are, and where we find their strengths and we can develop their weaknesses. But there are also some things that we just shouldn't touch. And I think that by that, each one of us can find their own true voice, because each one of us have something to give the rest of us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what mindful drumming is about.
Mindful drumming, yeah. And on your website or on your pages, you have also many examples, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And maybe we can listen to one more music.
Yeah.
And so we prepared one piece that's called Dreams, right?
Yes. So Dreams it's not for frame drum, it's for marimba and some other instruments. But I started to compose it on the frame drum. So the rhythm is from a frame drum. And Dreams is all about a childhood memory. And it's from my album Skin.
So it's your childhood, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So let's listen to Dreams. Bravo. Wow, great. It's so light. The music is really brings you away.
Thank you, Murat.
And so we have not much time anymore. We could talk the whole evening, I think.
I think so. Yeah.
And especially now it starts, we start really to getting more deeper in the music and everything. So I think this is the best point to finish slowly our meeting. But now, before we finish, I would like to ask you, what are your upcoming projects, or what you are doing at the moment? Do you have, for example, concerts, online streaming concerts, or how can we find you? Maybe you can explain.
So you can find me at mindfuldrumming.com, and you can find me by my name on all social media platforms. And also I have a page at Patreon where I do a monthly pop-up mini concert. And I have a YouTube channel, also my name. And what I'm doing now, I am soon releasing my next album, and I will tell you now. Not many know, but this album will call Breathe. So it's actually 2 meditations that I've done, but I will release the 2 of them with guidance, but also as instrumental parts. So Breathe is 8.5 minutes, and Listen is a little bit over 13 minutes. Yeah.
Wow.
So you can check that out when I release them.
Yeah.
And also, I'm teaching my group, Mindful Drumming Stars, and I will start a new group next Tuesday.
So everyone, we already also wrote it in the YouTube chat, right? So
Perfect.
if you are interested, so contact Maria.
Yeah.
And go.
I'm nice. I try to be.
By the way, we get many feedbacks, Maria. Maybe you are not in the YouTube channel at the moment. Maybe not.
I'm not, because I was so terrified that something would ring in here, because I hate that. So I turned everything off. But that makes me really happy to hear. Yeah, thank you so much, everyone that's here.
Yeah,
I would love to say hi more.
Thank you. And I think it's not the last time that we met. I hope so.
I hope not.
At least I hope so, but I think we will get in contact. And thank you that you have you shared your time with us. And I wish you good luck for everything, especially in these very hard days on one side, but on the other side, maybe you have time for creativity. This is maybe one good aspect for all of the musicians, to compose or try new things. So I would like to stay in contact with Tamburi Mundi and you, and all the best, Maria.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure, and I look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao. Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Yeah. So I really didn't know her personally. I just saw always in Facebook. This is maybe the space where you can really find everything. But we had the idea to invite her in our channel. And so now we have a second guest here. I think he already entered. Francesco?
Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you.
But you cannot see me. Maybe now you can also see me.
Buonasera.
Buonasera.
How are you, Francesco?
I'm fine. Very well. Thank you.
Yes.
I was following a bit. It's nice composition. I heard the last one, very good.
Yeah, yeah. And so for all of you in the YouTube channel, for all of our guests here, I would like to introduce you shortly, right? We can also talk a lot with you about you, but now you are mainly here to do a little bit Konakol exercises with us today, next week, and also another time because we would like to build up something with you. But first, maybe some words about you. So, Francesco, you are living in Calabria, in Cosenza, and so Francesco, you are an amazing musician. It's not only frame drummer, only because you play so many frame drums. You play the Bodhrán, you play the Arabian Turkish rig, the daf, and so you much more the Italian tamburello, of course. And beside this, you also play amazing the piano. it's uh, it's so great. You always surprise me because you came to Tamburi Mondi many years. Every year I was surprised because I saw you always on stage, and one time with a rig, the second time you play tamburello. I said, okay, Italian tamburello. But then you started with the Bodhrán, amazing. And then in all this Indian music, the compositions that you also do. And so I think maybe we can invite you another time to speak more with you, to speak more about you. But now I would like to make it very short so that you have your time and do some Konakol with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, we go
Okay,
directly to this. So
perfect.
thank you. So as Murat said, we will talk about Konakol, and we will go directly to some rhythms, so some rhythm practice. But first, so I thank Murat because now I can skip pleasantries and go directly to the topic. I will share the screen because in this first meeting, I would like to tell you some information very in general about Konakol and introduce a little exercise and start to practice. And then in the next weeks, as Murat said, we will continue practicing and we will go more in the practice. But before start practicing, it's good to know something about Konakol. So because we will go fast on this and we will go directly to practice, I will share the screen with you, and so we can just read with me something. Yeah, I hope everyone can see my screen. So we will discover the basic elements of Konakol, the ancient peculiar South Indian way to vocalize rhythmic syllables and phrases, and how it could be useful to understand music and develop our expression. So what is Konakol? Konakol is the South Indian way to vocalize rhythmic syllables and phrases. Today we will learn, we will talk about Konakol, and we will see the first part of a little composition. So, first of all, some little small information, historical information. We know that since ancient times, Indian music is related to religious devotion. The origins of Indian music can be found on the four Vedas, which are religious texts, very old. The North Indian music style is called Hindustani. The South Indian is Carnatic, which meaning is traditional. The distinction between the two styles began around the 12th and 13th century when the Muslims conquered the north, so introducing Persian and Arabic elements in music. The South remained more traditional, being less influenced by foreigners. What is Konnakol? We arrived to this by solcatto, because solcatto are South Indian rhythmic phrases constructed with a variety of phonetic syllables that were developed to resemble the sound produced on the drum. Each of the solcatto phrases contain melodic, timbrical, and technical information. A student first learns the solcatto phrase vocally together with the tala and then plays it on the drum. So first they sing, then they play, or together they sing and they play. The term solcatto in Tamil, which is the Indian language, signifies syllable, a bunch of syllables. So what is Konnakol? Konnakol is the application of solcatto, and the word signifies the rule, the recite and rule. So it's the importance of to say the word. So the words are the most important things. What is a tala in this Konnakol? Tala is the basic of the rhythm. It's a recurring series of beats, often subdivided into smaller units. Each tala, or time cycle, has its own structure and its own set of finger counts, claps, and waves to show that structure. So the way in which they count the tala, it's a little bit different from the Occidental way of solfeggio, and now we will go to see this. I'm not sure how to see, just my face and a little bit of the, maybe like this we can go. Yes, I close that. Sorry, just a second. Yeah, I hope that you can see. Okay, so you see a little bit of me, which is good because I'm not so cute, and more of the PDF. Okay, so we saw a tala. What is a tala? So it's a rhythmic cycle, okay? It can be 8, 9, 11, 13, whatever. What is in this tala? How is structured the tala, the time cycle? We have this, the gati. What is the gati or nadai? Indicates the number of subdivision per beat. We can, to understand, compare it to the Western duplets, triplets, quintuplets. For example, if we just have this beat, if we decided to put 4 subdivision within 2 beats, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, this is the gati, the subdivision of the beat. So, and each one of these subdivision is called matras. So if we have 4 subdivision per beat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, they call this chatushra gati. Okay? So now we skip going deeper in the structure of the tala, and we focus on the tala, which is probably the most common, the most used. It lasts 8 beats, so we can think more or less to a Western 8/4, even if it's not exactly the same thing. And the way they count this is 1 clap, 3 finger counts, so we have 4. And the second part is 1 clap, 1 wave, 1 clap, and 1 wave. In this way, clap. Finger counts are with the pinky, 4 and 3rd. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then clap, 5, wave, clap, wave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes? So we have total 32 matras, and usually in Chatushlagati. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Right? This is 32. Okay, so let's talk about syllables. So what can we put into this cycle? What can we say? Syllables. So they have a lot of syllables. They are plenty of syllables to counting matras and to form their patterns. But we focus just on this, okay? One syllable is ta or dum or din. The way to say two syllables is taka. You see also the abbreviation form, which I will use in the composition. 3 syllables is takita. 4 is takadimi. 5 is tadiginadum or takatakita. So it's 2 plus 3 because we have taka is 2, takita is 3. So takatakita is 5. Yes? 6, takita, takita. We have 3 plus 3. You see takita? Repeated 2 times, we have 6. Then 7, what is 7? It's takadimi, takita. 4 plus 3. Takadimi, takita. And finally 8, we have takadimi, takajuno. It's 4 plus 4. Takadimi is a way to say 4. Takajuno is another way to say 4. So we have takadimi, takajuno. In our composition, we will use all of this. Now, the last 2 information I'll give to you, it's about the elements, the composition forms. So we have a TI. What is a TI? It's a motif with pauses repeated 3 times, and usually it ends on the first beat of the tala. For example, if we are in the second part of Aditala, so in 1, 2, 3, 4, yes? In Chatushragati, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. This that I said, sorry, there is something in the chat I cannot see. Okay, I will answer to the chat in the end. Okay, yes, I can send you some KONNAKOL book. Someone is asking me if I know some book about KONNAKOL. Yes, I will send you. Maybe next week I will suggest you some books. And if it's possible to get my paper, sure, I will share my paper. Now we were where we are. Yes, TI. It's TI. I was saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we can recite this. For example, we have takadin with the 4 pauses. Takadin, 4 pauses. Takadin. Takadin, 1, 2, 3, 4. Takadin, 1, 2, 3, 4. Takadin. Yes, this is a TI. So we have the same thing repeated 3 times. Takadin, 4 pauses. Takadin, 4 pauses. Takadin. And it ends on the first beat of the next tala. Takadin, 1, 2, 3, 4. Takadin, 1, 2, 3, 4. Takadin. This will be useful later. Corvée, what is a corvée? We will learn a corvée. It's a cadential form. It could be very, very, very complex. The words mean strung together, consisted of various patterns and phrases arranged in a sequential order, according to different geometric shapes, and it is usually divided into 2 parts, A and B. Now, let's go. We will practice. I wrote positively for these occasions a corvée in Aditala. This is part A1, the first part of our TA and of our corvée. And as you see, we will use all of the syllables I just told you. So we have 8, which is takadimi takajuno. Then there is dum, or din as you want to say, with 3 rests. Then we have 7, takadimi takita, and the second part, the dum will be always the same, dum with 3 rests. Then we have 6, then 5, then 4, then 3, then 2, then 1. So this corvée starts with this shape, which is obviously a reduction. You see, in the upper part, we have the geometric shape. In the lower part, I wrote the same thing, but dividing into bars or into bits, every 4 bits, because we are in Aditala, so 8 bits, chatushragati, so 4 subdivision per bit. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, this is our layer. We move upon this. And now we will go slowly to recite this corvée. I will show you how, and then we will practice together. I'll tell you how. So I will count 1 bit, 1 cycle off, and then I will start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, ready, go. Tacca dimmi, tacca giù, no, do, 1, 2, 3, tacca dimmi, tacchi, ta, do, 1, 2, 3, tacchi, ta, do, 1, 2, 3, tacca, tacchi, ta, do, 1, 2, tacca dimmi, do, 1, 2, 3, tacchi, ta, do, 1, 2, 3, tacca, do, 1, 2, 3, ta, do. Yes? It's so you can see it lasts 2 aditalas, 2 cycles, covers 2 cycles. Again, go. Tacca dimmi, tacca giù, no, do. Tacca dimmi, tacchi, ta, do. Tacchi, ta, do. Tacchi, ta, do. Tacca dimmi, do. Tacchi, ta, do. Tacca, do. Ta, do. Okay, so we can do this exercise just to end this our lesson today. I will recite 1 time, then I will count 4, and I will keep the cycle and you will go. Okay, like this. Tacca dimmi, tacca giù, no, do. Tacca dimmi, tacchi, ta, do. Tacchi, ta, do. Tacchi, ta, do. Tacca dimmi, do. Tacchi, ta, do. Tacca, do. 1, 2, 3, and 2 cycle. I hope you finish now in this clap. Okay, let's practice like this for few times. Okay, I will count just 4 off, and when I finish I will count another 4, and you start 2 cycles, 4, me, and again. Let's start. 1, 2, 3, go. Tacca dimmi, tacca giù, no, do. Tacca dimmi, tacchi, ta, do. Tacchi, ta, do. Tacchi, ta, do. Tacca dimmi, do. Tacchi, ta, do. Tacca, do. ta-do. 2. Ready, and you, go. Two, and always me, and taka dimmi taka juno do. Taka dimmi taki tatu. Taki tatu. Taka taki tatu. Taka dimmi do. Taki tatu. Taka do. Tatu. Ready, and you. Again me last time, and taka dimmi taka juno do. Taka dimmi taki tatu. Taki tatu. Taki tatu. Taka dimmi do. Taki tatu. Taka do. Tatu. And go last time with you. And tatu. Yeah. So we will, yeah, okay, amazing. So we will see next Monday, and we continue on this. Okay, I hope you like. I will share the stuff. And next Monday I will give you everything. Thank you, and have a good continuation. But I will stay there, so I will follow the next guests.
Thank you. So thank you, Francesco. Great. And so if you can go, or if you want, Francesco, if you can go to YouTube, and for all of you, if you have some specific questions to Francesco, you can chat in the YouTube. So
Yes.
this is, we can offer this, if it's okay for you, Francesco.
Sure, absolutely, yes.
Great. So, and we will see you next week.
Surely,
Yeah.
yes. Thank you.
Great. Okay.
Ciao.
Francesco. So now we continue. Hello, Kimia.
Hi,
Hi, Kimia.
how are you?
Thank you very much. Nice, fine. And you?
Good, very good. I was
Very good.
practicing with Francesco.
Yeah, me too. I was practicing.
Yes, it was really good.
Yes, that's right.
Can you hear me good?
Yes, I can hear you. And you? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything.
So you're live from Berlin now, right?
Yes, from Berlin. It's raining.
Oh.
What about there?
Yeah, here it was like snow and rain mixed in Freiburg.
Wow, snow.
Yeah.
Winter again. Nice.
Yeah. And where are you? You are in your studio, or you have many instruments?
Yes, actually, here is my home studio. It's one of the rooms in my house. But I have rehearsal room, but it is underground. I don't have internet there. That's why.
Yeah. And internet is nowadays quite important. Yes, because
Yes.
many things are with internet, also rehearsaling or sending files, everything you need.
Everything. Yes, everything.
Yeah.
Just I go to rehearsal room for practicing. That's it.
That's great.
Yeah.
We are happy that you are together with us today.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for your invitation and giving me this opportunity.
Oh, for sure. So also, I would like to ask you your name, Kimia, and what is the meaning of Kimia?
Actually, I know why you're asking, because in Turkish it means chemistry.
Exactly.
But yes, in Persish, kimia is something that makes everything better. Like it makes the sound, I don't know, the earth to the gold, silver to gold, everything to the better level.
Oh, okay.
It is something magic.
Oh, great. So everything you
I think the name of chemistry also comes from this meaning.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
possible. Yeah. So if anyone has the chance and YouTube in our channel, you can just check out in Wikipedia if there is a connection.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Nice. So every drum you touch, it becomes magic, right?
I hope so.
Since when do you live in Berlin?
I have come to Germany since 2018. It's next week. It will be 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
3 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
It will be 3 years, and yes, I am trying to learn German language, but I think it takes so much time to speak like very fluently.
Yeah, of course. I can imagine German is not the easiest language, but as you are in Germany, maybe it's easier if you are in contact.
Yes, and because we always speak English, it's not helpful here for learning German.
Yeah, that's right. And I also know you have many projects here in Berlin, right? So with different musicians, with different also styles, let me say. And so mostly of them, they are, let me say, international, with like a background with you coming from, not from Germany. So you are, is it like this?
Yes, actually, my main instrument which I play is daf. Daf is a traditional Iranian, Kurdish, also Turkish instrument, also Arabic. So I have started with playing daf with different bands, and I am very open to experience new things. You know, I am not like that traditional, I don't have traditional thinkings, traditional mind, just play traditional Iranian music because my instrument is a traditional instrument. That's why I have tried fusion music. I have played with many different musicians. I have played jazz, rock, hard rock also. Yes, also Oriental music. Yes, and it is very, very good experience for me because I learn from each one of these. You know, my world is getting bigger and bigger in every time I play with every band. Yes.
Yeah, and so, but when you came from Iran, so but you learned in the university music in a music school or in a university. You learned traditional music.
Yes, I have started learning music since I was 7 years old. I have started with learning keyboard. Yes, and I have learned how to read notes, solfege, and this kind of stuff. And then my academical music study, I have studied in Tehran Music Conservatory. I have learned music there, and yes, I have played DAF also since I was teenager. I was 15 years old. And it was something, because I was very interested in that age, I was very interested in Sufi music. You know, Sufi music, Sufi poems, Sufi dance, everything like this. Some spiritual world I had in that age, teenager. I can tell that I fell in love with DAF and the sound of it. And until now, there's no difference, you know. I am I have the same love to DAF like those years.
Yeah, yeah. So you have this spirituality also inside, or only, let me say, only the instrument?
Yes, I think I have. And what is very interesting, maybe it is very interesting for you and the audience, was, you know, in those years, it was about 20 years ago. And it was not like nowadays that many girls and women play DAF. I have chosen DAF as my main instrument, and everybody told me, why are you choosing DAF? It is very big, it is very heavy, you cannot make it, just choose something else, choose violin, choose flute, choose blah, blah. But I insisted and I fought for it. And I am very happy that I could make it. And nowadays I am also I enjoy that many girls and women are learning percussion, not only DAF, I mean percussion, because woman as a percussionist in those days was something weird.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So you had to fight a little bit in your life, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah. And so there's always, sometimes people say, I know it, for example, they say this instrument is connected to Sufi music, for example, the daf, or also other instruments like kudum in Turkey.
Yeah.
So then sometimes there are people who say, no, with a daf, it's not possible to make hard rock music. I mean, it's not my opinion, but some people
think like
yes.
this. Yeah.
So how is it for you? Say, okay, I use this instrument and I play hard rock. This is
Yes.
I mean, it's a very big courage also. And so, what is your attitude?
You know, actually, when we are talking about Sufism, it is about peace, it is about love, it is about connection between two worlds. So I think what I do when I play DAF as a Sufi instrument in a hard rock band, I am connecting two worlds together. You know, I am. It has a message, and I go in that band. They have their own feeling, and I bring my own feeling with my instrument in that band. And this is beautiful. You know, when we are all together and work together and try to connect each other, try to be close to each other. This is beautiful. Not that I say, no, I am traditional musician. I don't do anything with any other genre of music. No, I am not thinking like that.
Yeah, yeah. So it is very open.
Yes, yes, I am always open.
Nice. So we have also one video that you prepared, right?
Yes.
And maybe we can watch your video. And I think for all of you who are on YouTube, you can also watch on YouTube. So we will send you the link on YouTube, because if the quality here is not so good with Zoom, you can directly watch it on YouTube. So you have to choices. So this is a piece with duff, right?
Yes, yes, it's an improvisation in 7.
Yeah, and you use your own techniques, also your own styles.
Actually, I have tried to show in this video to show to the audience, because it was an opportunity that people from all over the world, maybe they join us and they don't know this instrument. I have tried to show different sounds and different techniques which we can make with deaf, but maybe I don't play always like this. But this is what I have tried to show the audience what we can do with deaf.
Okay, great. So let's have a look on the video. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. But I wonder why the quality was very high quality, the video I have sent. I don't know why it was like this.
It's not about the video. It's about the internet connection, about Zoom. But as I said, in YouTube
Yes.
is a much better quality, and we sent the YouTube link on the channel, so everyone
Great.
can watch
Great.
the.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, and you use really different sounds, different techniques, very fine sounds with the fingers. And so this is more or less, it's not really connected to Sufi music or the traditional daf music, right?
Yes, it was more about techniques.
Yeah.
Different techniques we play deaf. And many of them are very new, because in the for example, about 30 years ago, people played deaf only for Sufi music, and it was just repeating one groove, repeating for the Sema dance and this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Nowadays, they are different. We use different techniques, different grooves, and yes.
Yeah. Great. So there was one question in the YouTube chat. There was one question about the hard rock daf. If you have an example, a video that you can suggest us, we can watch.
Yes. If they check my Instagram, I have some videos which I have played with different bands and different genre of music. They can see. It's not like I play hard rock deaf. We don't have this hard rock deaf. I play I play the normal rhythm of that,
Yeah.
but we you know, we connect somehow with this hard rock music,
Yeah.
and it's about fusion music.
Fusion, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So everyone who would like to listen more
Yes.
can go on your Instagram. So before, maybe we can speak about the dammam a little bit. We have not so much time, but
Yes.
this has nothing to do with frame drums, but this is also an instrument that maybe you can introduce to us, a
Yes,
Persian
yes. I
instrument.
wanted just to show this percussion from south of Iran. I thought this would be interesting for the audience. This is dammam, which comes from south of Iran, and the rhythm we play dammam is like it is like syncope. You know, it breaks the rhythm. It's not going on the rhythm. The duty of dammam is to break the rhythm.
Wow. Can you
Yes.
give us an example, maybe?
Yes, but I don't think the sound would be good, but it's like.
Yes. The sound was not that good. That's right.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why maybe.
But maybe you can make a video, you can
Yes.
record a short video, and
Yes, that's what I was thinking about. Yeah.
that would be nice. So all of you in our channel, all our guests, so if you are interested in the dammam, you can go probably to your Facebook site, for example, and
Yes, my Facebook, Instagram, and I will upload a new video of dammam also.
yeah.
Very soon.
Very soon, right? And also, I saw many nice projects in your Facebook site. Also with one flute player, Valentina Belanova, right?
Yeah.
Yes, because we played also together. I know her, and yeah,
Yes, I have played also with the Babylon Orchestra. Valentina is also in Babylon Orchestra. Yes, there are many good musicians who play Oriental music in Berlin, really. And I am very proud to work with them.
great,
Yes.
nice.
Also, what I wanted to tell about, I wanted to tell in this live video, if there is any woman percussionist in Berlin or close to Berlin, I am thinking about creating a women percussion group. It's not only Iranian or Eastern percussionist, any kind of percussion, to bring all the world percussions together, and we learn from each other. And yes, we have some fun. So if there is any women percussionists, they can connect me and send me a message, so we can meet and play together.
Great, nice. So we will also announce it in our Tamburi Mundi agenda, and also on the Facebook we can announce it too, because we have many students. They come from Berlin or close to Berlin, and also female students. So maybe they are also here, and it's a very nice idea. And you also give lessons, right?
Yes, but this is not what I mainly do.
Okay. Yeah.
But yes, if there is if someone is interested to learn deaf, I will. Yes, I will learn. I will teach.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great, Kimia. So thank you for this very short talk.
Yes.
And
thank you, Murat. You are always supportive, and thank you so much to give this opportunity to young people, to young musicians, to introduce themselves and their music. And it is very nice of you, I think.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Thank you, TAMBURI Mondi, for having me.
Thank you, Marat. Thank you for coming, and we will see. I hope.
See you soon.
See
Yeah,
you
see you
soon.
soon.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Khada
Bye.
Hafiz. Khada Hafiz.
Khada Hafiz.
Yes. So you heard already everything. If you live in Berlin, if you are a percussionist, a female percussion group interested in, you can join Kimia. So now I would like to, as I saw in the, it is already time. So I will, let me say, I will change a little bit the schedule. Now I would like to invite Christian Hedwitschak and do my composition afterwards, because Christian is already here, I think. No? Okay. So I would like to introduce Christian Hedwitschak. So he's a drum maker. Many of Bodhrán players know him already, right? So he's one of the most famous Bodhrán builders, I think. Ah, he's coming. Yeah. So, ah, hi, Christian. You have to turn your camera. Ah, okay. Perfect. We need your voice. Can you hear us? Hi, hi. We cannot hear you. Hello, hello. 1, 2, 1, 2. Sound check. Ah? No. No sound. No sound. Hello. Ah, I think you are connecting with the audio. Yes, yes.
No?
Perfect.
I don't know.
Hello, welcome.
No. Okay.
Nice to see you.
Good evening.
Good evening. I was just talking a little bit about you, that I wanted to introduce you shortly, right? And so I started to talk about your beautiful, amazing work as a Bodhrán builder. So you started as a musician, I think, in a folk band. And so you were looking for good instruments, right? And then you started to build your own instrument. And that was how everything started. And as a carpenter, I think you, as I read, you built since 2003. 2002. On your website, it's written 3. No problem. So you built more than 5,000 Bodhráns, I think, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And so I'm very happy that you have time to show us a little bit your work, and also that we can see your atelier. So welcome.
Very good.
And maybe you can just explain some of your, because I mean we can talk a lot about you, about the whole development, and so everyone, by the way, in the chat who has specific questions or who would like to know more, of course you can contact Christian afterwards. Also, this is not a problem. The idea is here really to meet you here and just to show your work, present your latest work maybe also. And yes, so maybe you can explain some features or some instruments.
Well, I think I just show you around a bit of in the workshop. Would that be okay?
Perfect.
So, this workshop is 18 square meters big, not 18. So it's a very small workshop, but it's nice to be there. It's kind of my living room sometimes because I spend a lot of my time in there, of course. So I like to have everything at its space. Every tool has its space, and it also has to look nice. I think that's important to get a good attitude to the work as well. So I show you around very quick. As I said, this workshop is not very big. It's made for quality, not for quantity. So in the background, you see these are the usual tools you would know from a woodworking workshop. So here are some of the tuners which I use because I only work with toolless tuning systems, and I use different wheels and knobs to make this happen. So these are the machine toolings for the rotor, for the big rotor machine. And here are some jigs for skin mounting. Yoo-hoo. No. So what you see here, these are the layers of my frames. The length of the layers define the pressure of the inner layer. So as you can see, the outer frame is always made of 3 layers. And the special thing of my workshop is, I would say, I really work with different woods, not with plywood. I mean, not with a industrial made plywood. I cut my wood myself. I use different kind of woods, mainly beech, but also now ash, figured ash, and spruce for some reasons because it's very light. And I use also oak and maple, of course. And yeah, the thing where I came to the whole frame drum thing is because of the work with Murat, and we just developed the second signature drum for him, and this is made of oak. So that's actually the first drum I made of oak, by the way. So these are the different wood layers, and here is the most important thing: the skins. These how I get most of my skins in these rolls, and when they are cut, they go into this storage here. So they are already cut for the purpose, yeah, for what they are needed for. I use quite different kind of skins, like goat skin, different types of goat skins. For example, also Labbé skins from north of Ireland. I use deer skin, I use horse skin, and yeah, everything for its own right. So here's a little bit of storage room for the drums I'm working on. And here is my magic machine. It's like a pottery machine, but I use it for sanding. I can put the frames on there and do my sanding there. Opposite is my main machine, big rotor machine. And of course we have a normal table saw as well. And a lot of hand rotors, because I'm just too lazy to switch the rotor. It's all time, you know. So yeah, and here you can see how I glue my frames. There is one in it. It's just glued today. So I use two-part molds. They can be separated, then the layers go in with the glue, and then they will be pressed together. And yeah, here are another molds and some nearly finished Bodhráns, which will be varnished tomorrow. And here is another big machine, the drilling machine. Yeah. So that was a turnaround of my workshop. Here we are again.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I was always thinking your workshop is a big hall, something like. But when I see it's like my tiny music workshop here.
It is. Most people think it must be a big factory or whatever, and many people working there. But it's just me in the room, you know.
Great, nice. And so you're very good organized. Everything.
Needs to be.
So we already have a question.
Go for it.
From the chat. So what is the fundamental difference between modern Bodhráns and modern frame drums?
Between modern Bodhráns and modern frame drums? Yes. Well, I have to say, I'm not yet too experienced in the Oriental frame drums, what you mostly play. But what I see is this is a development also in the Bodhrán world. The sound becomes more and more melodic, more and more tonal. If you look back at the older Bodhráns, maybe 50 years ago, they have been very wild and very rough and undefined. And the more they became accepted in the musical scene, in a musical environment together with melody instruments and in a band setup, the more it became tonal, less percussive, more tonal. And I think that could be also the same way in the frame drum thing, that the sound is becoming easier to mic up, easier to mix, and it's more present in a setup of more instruments. And one development I made a few years ago is the so-called compressor tuning room, which is a funnel-shaped tuning room. It was more or less by accident, a development by accident, but Rolf Wagels at this time, he had one of the first tryout instruments of this, and he had one in the studio for the new Kara CD recording, the band he was playing with. And they had 2 or 3, maybe even 4 different Bodhráns to try out for this recording. And when they tried out this drum, the whole band actually said, wow, there's something different, because the sound is so clear and it was much easier to mix. And so we did some more research, and we also go to the Munich University, made a big university project there together with 2 professors there, and to find out what is the magic behind this compressor tuning system and other tuning systems. So, and we found out that it's a clear improvement in the sound quality, because if you look at the overtone spectrum, you see the single overtones are much clearer and much more defined. And if you compare this to a motor hammer or a chainsaw, and the total opposite to a melody instrument, we have finally been closer to the melody instrument than to our noise, you know. And this is something completely new to frame drums, to drums, because just by physics, you cannot produce a real note from a tambourine or from a membranophone, you say, from a drum. So this goes like in the same direction as the timpani, which really can produce a note. And I think that is, okay, that was a long answer, but I think that is really what I see when I look back of my own development and how the scene of Bodhrán developed the last 20 years, and next year will be my 20th anniversary. Can you believe that? So when I look back on that time period, I think, yeah, that is the main development. It becomes more and more tonal and defined.
Yeah, yeah. I think this is the main character of your instruments. As you said, we invented also. I mean, you invented this frame drum. I mean, this. I mean, Bodhrán is also a frame drum, but this. Let me say the frame drum that you play with the fingers. Maybe you can say it like this. So, and I really had the feeling you take care of the sound, of everything, of the skin also. This is unbelievable, beautiful skin that you use. And so maybe one question about the Bodhráns, because I saw that you can change the head. So that was very, that was surprising for me. Oh, wow.
Yes, that is a development I did now 7 years ago, I think. It's called the change head, HED, change head, because everything has to be something which HED from Hedwitschak. So this was one of my main inventions, because only if you have the possibility to change one part of the Bodhrán, either the skin or the tuning rim on one of the same drum, you can see what is the difference. So if you have the same head, even if it's a natural drum head, you are able to change just the tuning rim to find the profile, the crosscut, or the different woods of the tuning rim, how this influence one of the same drum skin. So this was just the basic invention for the university project, to be able to look at one part of the drum. So because usually if you have a drum with a fixed skin on it, you need to maybe you need to use one animal and get two skins out of it, and then you put two drums. You take two drums with two different tuning rims and put the skin on it, and you just can hope that the skin is pretty much the same. But with a change head skin holding system, you have the chance to just change one part, either the skin or the tuning rim on the same drum. So yeah, that was important for me to any other further development.
Yeah, that's a very, very practical idea, and I'm jealous a little bit because I'm not a Bodhrán player. I would like to try and.
You can learn that.
I have to learn, exactly. And so you have this nice tuning system also, right?
Oh, you have the same drum.
Yes, I have frame drum. And I also can play frame drum. So also you can maybe explain a little bit this nice tuning system here, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the basic idea is to be able to tune the drum even during playing or between two sets or something like that. Not even if the key changes, but also if the humidity makes some problems to the skin. So all my Bodhráns came with come with a toolless tuning system. And I said, if I ever do another frame drum, only if it has also a toolless tuning system. But the big challenge was to get these little wheels turning even at very high tension, because the frame drums you play usually have a much higher tension on the skin than on a Bodhrán. So that was the real big challenge, to get something working, to get with a little fingertips even tuning for a higher tension, and with some technically tools and toys, I made this happen, and I'm very proud of that, I have to say. Yeah, and I try to include that here in this holes, because it has the deeper frame on the baritone one, and we have the other kind, the same wheels but on a different position on the tenor, but I don't have one here right now.
Yeah.
But are on the outer rim. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, and I tried out the drum, and it's working. It's unbelievable. This is you don't need a screw and anything, and so it's really also very soft to turn the wheel. Yeah, so I'm really always surprised what ideas you have.
Thank you. So,
and now I saw your small room, because and then now I'm really surprised.
But we have to be fair and tell that we both have been working nearly 12 years or something on this drum, you know, because it was not this kind of idea. It was really long development, as you know, and I had several tries to make your taste happen, to make you happy with your taste, and I failed quite a few times, let's say, but now we're there.
Yes, Christian, thank you.
You're welcome.
And so I think there are some small questions in the YouTube chat. So if you have time, you can just go in the YouTube, and maybe there are other questions. And also anyone who would like to contact Christian, you have a website, or from Facebook, Hedwitschak drums, right?
It's on Facebook is Hedwitschak _drums, yes.
Hedwitschak _drums. It's also written in the YouTube channel, by the way, so you can just and so thank you, and being here.
Thanks for inviting me. It's been a big pleasure and honor to be invited by you for your first Tambourine Monday, and I have to say it's a really good thing. I have been watching the other guests, and it's really interesting, because for me it's also a new world, you know.
Yeah. Okay, so we keep in touch, Christian.
Definitely.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye now.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So we can continue our program now. So as it's the first Monday, right? Today is really the first Tambourine Monday, and I see in the schedule that we are already quite late now. So and I promised you to present some composition works and rhythm training also. So we skipped, unfortunately, these two parts at the moment. And Dave is already here. Maybe we can just make a small introduction to my compositions workshop, and but I can just say hello to Dave. Hi, Dave. Hi, Dave. Hi, Dave. So before we start our program, you know, we are a little bit out of schedule, let me say.
No problem.
So I would like to do 10 minutes more.
Sure.
If it's okay for you.
It's fine, yeah. Of course, it's fine.
Okay. So it was the first time today, and
no problem. I'm here. Mac is ready, so I'm here. We're fine.
Great.
Okay,
Perfect.
cool.
So we are very excited. Okay. So
okay. See you soon. Ciao.
Okay, so maybe just a few words about my composition. As I said, this composition is something that we will continue the next meetings, the next Mondays, let me say. So at the moment we plan 8 or 10 Mondays, something like this. So it's not something that I will finish today, but start already today to work on it. So let me explain the basic rhythm of the composition. So we start with the very simple pattern. Right? So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. And so I have different versions how to play it. So I will show you the first version. So it's only about dooms, right? Yes. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. This is the basic rhythm. So if you have a small foot percussion, you can use the pulsation, and you can okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you can use the left hand also. This is the first phrase, and we play this phrase 3 times, right? And the fourth we make dum dum. Hey. So the fourth would be like this. Right. So the whole phrase starts, as I said, 3 times the basic, and in the fourth we have this special ending. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, and now we continue and we play it several times. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey! Hey! you can choose your own tempo. You can try to play it a little faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey! 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 Or you can play with a single hand if it's too fast for you. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can make a final snap here as you wish. Yeah, so this is the beginning of the piece, and yeah, so if you want, you can practice at home until next week. I mean, it's not that difficult, but I think to keep the groove, to have a nice sound, also to have a nice tune, you should practice a little bit. It depends on you, of course. And also, you can use the, as I said, the pulsation with the feet, and you can use a second here, the shaker sound, so you can switch between right and left and right and right and. Hey! Hey! Okay, so yes, next week I will show you the different parts of the piece, and we will continue from one part to the other. And I will always show you different levels. So if you are less fast, for example, you can choose different sounds, or you can choose different variations if you are more advanced, right? So I will always show you two different options. So for today, this is all with my composition, and I think now we can continue with Dave. Hi Dave.
Hi.
Nice to see you.
How are you?
Thank you. Fine. And you?
Oh, I'm okay. I'm good. Yeah, it's all good.
Very good. So you are. Where are you exactly now?
I am in Portugal. I'm in a port city, a little town called Figueira da Foz, which is on the coast halfway between Lisbon and Porto. And I've been there for, like, without leaving the village for like a year now.
Oh.
It's okay. I'm okay.
You're okay. That's the important thing, that you are okay. So what time is it in Portugal?
We're an hour behind Central, so it's just coming up to just before 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
This is really important now because I teach a lot online, and this discussion about what time it is in Winnipeg or, you know, Manitoba or places like that, it's become a thing now for me. But
yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's very interesting because some people now slowly go to bed, probably. Some wake up now. It depends. Have the breakfast. Yeah, but originally you're of course not from Portugal.
No,
You're
I'm
from
not.
Ireland.
My wife is, and we decided to live here because the weather is better. But I'm from Ireland originally, um, which uh, connects me to the bodhrán, which is the frame drum that we use in Ireland, mostly in the traditional music of Ireland. But you'll find the bodhrán in um, Scottish traditional music and also in Galicia and Quebec, and anywhere there's a Celtic diaspora, you'll find this drum.
Yeah, yeah. And so we know each other. I think you came to Freiburg to Tamburi Mondi, I think in 2015. I'm not sure if I'm right.
I think I mean, I came as a student in 2010 or 11, I think.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I mean, a
Yeah,
long time.
long time. Yeah, that's right. I just saw some photos and it was 2015, but probably.
Yes.
And so for me, it was so nice to see you in Freiburg because you always brought some, let me say, my English is not so good, but fresh impulse. Is it
Okay.
correct?
Yeah,
um,
yeah, we would say um, naughtiness, I guess. Just so I always like to come with something different or unusual or a little more um, a way of looking at something from a slightly different viewpoint with the instrument.
yeah, yeah. Hmm.
And it's, I mean, I have to say that coming to the festival is one of the most significant parts of my year and continues to be so because of how fabulous that frame drum community is. Hi, frame drum community who's watching on YouTube. And it's a great thing to be a part of, and it's for me personally to bring the bodhrán, which is not very often included in, even though it is a frame drum, it's not necessarily gets included in the great frame drum world because it lives in its own little separate, over on the west coast with its own musical tradition. And sometimes bodhrán players and frame drummers don't see each other very much. We don't, but that's all changing now, let me tell you.
Yeah,
So
yeah. And so you are one of the Bodhrán players that I met, or also that I know in these years. I mean, today maybe it's changed, but you were really one of, or the first who really tried to combine something to understand the finger drums, because you came to the workshops not for Bodhrán,
no,
learning for
I
Bodhrán.
came to
You
study
came
frame.
for the
I came to
workshop.
study frame drum, yeah, and I, which was very difficult because um, it involved a complete, you know. So I'm used to holding a drum like this, and when you have to hold a drum like this, it's like being a beginner again. It's like being, and that's very when you're 40, and I was, at that time, it's a really good thing to do in your life is to become a student again and become a beginner. And I went to everything. Went to study DAF and to study Bandir and now what I've done is to take a lot of those rhythms that I learned and kind of figure them out for the bodhrán. And now I have a class of students who are studying those rhythms with me on the bodhrán. So the process is ongoing. And so there are some bodhrán players who can play malfuf and maksum and all these kind of things.
Yeah. Yeah. So just Dave, before we continue, I just have a feedback that your microphone is little. You can maybe.
I can, if I bring it closer, is that better?
Yes, I think now it's better.
Okay.
Better now? Better. Okay.
Is
Thank you.
that better? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no problem. And so before you talk a little bit more about Bora, maybe one question that is what is the typical day in relation to Bodhrán? So how can you explain maybe what is the typical for you?
So if I understand the question correctly, so the Bodhrán is it's a very simple instrument. Like all frame drums, it's just a skin stretched over a frame that you play with a stick, or it's called a kippeen or a tipper, and there are infinite varieties of these sticks. I mean, you're not a proper Bodhrán player unless you have at least 30 of these kind of things, you know, and you make your own, and each one has a separate tone, but the basic thing with the drum is that you are an accompanist in the music. So there aren't rhythms. There aren't, you know, like there are formal rhythms in a lot of frame drum cultures. There are no rhythms. There are tunes in Irish music. So we have jigs and reels and slip jigs and polkas, and they're mostly in kind of regular time signatures. It's quite contemporary now to have odd time signatures, 7s and 13s and things like that, but traditionally you have just binary or ternary, and the interesting stuff is done with the ornamentation, so that if you play in a binary, in a real kind of, you know, so the ornamentation would be adding what's called in Irish, it's called a triplet, but it's not a triplet. It's like two semiquavers and a quaver. So, and how and where you put those ornamentations is very much dictated by who you're playing with. So, because how they play the tune, when you see the tunes written down, they're kind of fairly, the ornamentation is not, you know, written. So each player plays it differently, and you have to accompany the player the way they play, and that's a great education, because you're always wrong until you're right, you depending on who you play with. So that's how it works.
Yeah.
Is that was that the answer you were looking for there? I wasn't quite sure about the question.
Yeah. I mean. Maybe you can we can talk a little bit about the Bodhrán, about the tradition, and about the modernity that maybe you developed for yourself.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's a tricky thing to talk about, because the Bodhrán is a young instrument, and in that there's evidence that it existed in Irish music through to from the 18th century, but it's because it's part of a folk tradition. It's not part of a classical tradition or a written tradition. It's not clear, the lineage of the instrument, and there was a big thing in and I'm sure people will know better than I will, about in the 17th or 18th century, where tambourines were very, very fashionable, and they were used. The English military used tambourines, and there's a whole thought that tambourines came, but also we had this drum which was made, as a lot of frame drums are, from a farming implement, like a big, you know, you would use it to carry grain or something in, and those drums would have a crossbar in the back, and they would be played outdoors with a double-ended stick or a bone, I understand, and they're used in a kind of, what to me seems, you know, some kind of fertility ritual, you know, as a noisemaker, and you would play in that. And since the instrument has kind of become more and more developed and refined, and you know, it used to be to tune one of these, you went to the fire and held it until it was the right pitch, and then to you know, you take it away again and then take it near the fire, other stuff like that. But it's only in the past 30, 40 years that the drum has become an instrument that exists. Because Irish music didn't exist on concert stages. It only existed in within the culture, within people's houses and all the rest of it. And then at the end of the 60s, it became you could go and see a concert, and you could go and a guy called Sean O'Riordan, who was a composer, brought the bodhrán into his orchestral ensemble. And but so the drum is young, and therefore the technique is constantly developing, and it's all based on whatever rules there are in a tradition. As soon as someone breaks one of those rules, like it used to be that you played with two ends of the stick, that you played in order to get the ornament, you would play with both ends. And then people started to play with longer sticks, so you can't do that. So you have to play with and that changes the way the drum drives the music and things like that. Every little innovation is a kind of when people say we've always done it this way, everyone, the people who say, yeah, but I'm going to do it this way, those people always push the tradition forwards, because you're still connected to the history of the thing and all the rest of it. And then the drums have changed. It's like it used to be. You would go and get just a steamed piece of wood and hammer the goat skin around it. But now the goat skins are there's a lot of work goes into preparing the skins, and there are multiple layers of skins and tonal rings inside and outside the drum to deal with overtones and tuning systems and many kind of innovations. And at the minute, it's now you can be extremely expressive with this drum, and it's very much having a voice. You can develop your own sensibility with it. It's not easy, I will say that. It's not an easy drum to get from beginner to like competent player. That takes a while, and the nature of Irish music, because it happens socially and very often in pubs, is that if you are a beginner and you go to there's a lot of people who they go to the bodhrán players. How can I say this nicely? Often they're not welcome in traditional music sessions, because they tend to come in and go. And I teach people to listen more than play at the very beginning. And but it's so that's kind of how it works. That's how that's traditionally what happens with the bodhrán. I have gone quite far beyond that now, in both in how I work with the drum and the music that I play with it. And there's a simple reason for that, is because I'm not in Ireland. I'm not in the middle of the tradition that this instrument comes from. And it's the influence of the other musicians, and particularly the instruments of the other frame drum cultures that I have studied with our friends and colleagues. So that the idea that normally we don't have ghost notes on the bodhrán. We play everything. We play the whole 16 or subdivisions, but to play malfouf you need ghost notes. So in order to have ghost notes, you need a stick that you can play ghost notes with. And that's just what you have to, so it's quite fun to teach that, because you're developing a new kind of sticking technique and a new kind of furry stick to play malfouf.
Yeah, now I understand more the difference. Now, as you explained, also with the ghost notes. Yeah, for me the ghost notes is very clear, a part of the rhythm. But
we tend not to use ghost notes at all, because they're not in the tunes. You know, our tunes are very drive. They're for dancing, you know.
Yeah.
But these rhythms, there's a couple of the Middle Eastern rhythms that are absolutely wonderful to play with Irish music. They're really, they change the shape of the tune really nice, you know. But no one knows, and like no one would know that you're playing, you know, Malfouf with a reel. No one would know that, but they understand that, oh, that swings in a different way or whatever. So yeah, and then the other thing that I'm getting into is because I'm a recording studio person is that what can you do with the Bodhrán? I hope this works, because I thought I'll show people how if this works. So one of the things that I'm doing at the minute is, can you put the Bodhrán through a vocoder? And it turns out you can. So things like that, and I'm just jumping on to the next thing, because I'm in a studio and I'm by myself, and we can't go anywhere or play anything. So a lot of the work that I've been doing for the past 18 months has been remote collaborations. And I could talk about one or two of those if that would be interesting.
Yes, that's a good idea. Yeah.
I think, I mean, one of the collaborations I have is it's an Irish traditional group here in Portugal, and this is one of the most curious things that I met these folks, one of whom is Irish, one of whom is Turkish, and one of whom is Brazilian, and they all love to play Irish music, and we thought we should be a band. And I remember the date that this happened. We did this on the 23rd of February last year, and that's the last time I've seen them. I haven't seen them since then. And we're still a band, and we've managed to, we have a bunch of things up on YouTube, and we can link to that, where we have basically played our stuff together on YouTube, you know, independently of each other, and put it together in a recording thing, which is completely the opposite of anything that we would do traditionally in Ireland, because you have to be in the same room to play. But the other thing to talk about is my long distance transatlantic collaboration with our mutual friend Mac Ritchie. Actually, do you know what? I have a picture of us here. I have fancy editing software here to go look. You see, there we are.
Great.
Thank you, Ellen, for taking that picture. Ellen Schmaus took that picture. And Mac and I, let me tell this story to people. Mac and I met at TAMBURI MONDAY. And I need to look here because he was talking about that he might come in. Oh, he's here. Okay. So Mac and I met at TAMBURI MONDAY. I think it's, how many years ago? 2019, maybe. And we stayed in the same apartment, and we had this conversation like you do with musicians, where you go, we should do something. We should do a thing. And normally those things don't happen because you all go back to your life and you go back to your band, and you go, but we actually did it. And we've made a collaboration, and it's taken a bit of time because he's in the States and I'm here, and we've had to go back and forwards. But the nature of our collaboration is curious, let's say, because Mac plays oud, and I'm sure he can tell you about the oud, which is the traditional string instrument of a lot of Turkish and Middle Eastern music. It's it comes with a certain amount of gravitas, and in the same way that the Bodhrán comes. If you want to have a party, you have a Bodhrán. If you want to have a serious thing, you have the oud. The oud is it comes with a certain kind of seriousness to it. And we tried to figure out a way of what can we play together that will be, and this is important for me, that will be authentic, that will be, somehow true to ourselves. And so we tried to play some Celtic music, and it was okay. It's okay. We could play it, and we tried to play some Middle Eastern music, and it was okay. But there was something not quite. What's the word? It's not quite. We were trying. It was like a little. It was and in the course of our playing, we kind of, as you do, we jammed things, and we started to jam tunes that we knew from when we were teenagers, kids, rock songs. And we had this moment of, we could do this, we could play rock songs on the bodhrán and the oud. And then we kind of got into trouble because, of course, rock music, you need a snare drum. You have to have a snare drum to I don't have that. You have to have, more than one string instrument. You have to have a guitar and bass and whatever. So we decided that we would collaborate with our instruments and recording studios, that we would use all the stuff that we have available to us to try and make some music together. And so we did, and we've called this project Walk Like a Cow. And I need to explain why. Walk Like a Cow is... the story is that in India, when you're trying to cross the road, and if you're not used to the traffic and all the rest of it, that the advice that people give you when you're trying to cross, because the traffic is crazy, is walk like a cow, because of course in India cows are sacred, so nobody's going to run you over. So that's why. So yeah, and so we've made an album of rock songs, and there it is. And we decided that we would call it Walk Like a Cow Plays the Traditional Music of Walk Like a Cow, because this is the traditional music of the middle-aged white man. It is, but the thing that we really wanted to do was to stay authentic to our instruments, so that we would still play inside, we wouldn't kind of take the instruments and run them through to try and make it sound like a drum kit. It sounds like a bodhrán. I wouldn't take the oud and make it sound anything like an electric guitar. Even we did use electric oud and things like that. But so that's what we've done. And I've got some. I can actually show you this if you like.
Yes.
I have a video. I have a video of this here, or I can. I can
share the video if you want.
Yeah, I can share it from here because I have it actually lined up here, and we can see if it works.
If you want, you can send me the YouTube link also, or if you want to.
I can share a little bit of it now if people are interested.
Perfect.
I don't know. Let's see. About the shape I'm in, can't sing, I ain't pretty, and my legs are thin. But don't ask me what I think of you, I might not give the answer that you want me to. Oh well.
God, I knew he'd understand. He said, stick by me, I'll be your guiding hand. But don't ask me what I think of you. I might not give the answer that you want me to. Oh, well.
So there you go.
Wow.
Wow! We are dancing here in the studio.
Excellent. Good. Good. So yeah, I mean, thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to kind of share this with people. I mean, we really wanted to do something that was true to the instruments, and it's only an EP that we've got out, but it's got some curious choices about. We've used Middle Eastern maqam and as a thing to play a solo in one of these rock songs and things like that. But thanks very much for letting me share that. Mac, I'm talking to Mac here, he said he might come and join us, but he can't find his phone.
Okay. I'm asking here if Mac is here. No, he's not here.
No. He's...
Yeah, okay. But maybe we can talk meanwhile about some projects that you have. I mean, you have, I always see that you have interesting classes or interesting
Sure.
with Brazilian music on Bodhrán. That's right.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I back in October, I decided that I would offer Bodhrán players to share the kind of journey that I've had studying other frame drum traditions. So I started off and we did a class on Mediterranean rhythms, and then we did a class on odd time signatures and sevens and nines and 11s and a small but very keen group of players have embraced this, and so I'm just moving through frame drum cultures now. So I decided that we would go into Brazilian music and have a look at how, and I'm very I'm trying to be because I teach these people the tiniest top layer of a musical culture. You know, just the simplest idea of that in samba, the strong beat falls on the 2 and it's always a little bit late. That idea for a Bodhrán player, that's a big thing. You know, so that you're looking at the idea where it goes. Just that. Now, for a Bodhrán player, that conceptually is, you know, upside down and backwards. So it's a great thing to teach people. And what has actually happened, my class, independently of me, have decided that they're going to make one of these multi-screen videos of them all playing a samba. So they're all currently learning lots of parts, so they can kind of be a Bodhrán bateria. So that's an ongoing project where I'm bringing kind of world rhythms, you might say, to the frame drum. Another project that is, and this is news. This is a scoop that you have. So I combine the Bodhrán with electronics, as I was showing you earlier on, and I have a new project that I'll be developing with Andrea Piccioni, no less, with both of us playing, me playing Bodhrán and playing tamborello, but both of us with electronics also. So that'll be very exciting. And I have another. This year, I have spent a long time just saying yes to any invitations that people made from anywhere, where people say we should do something, and I would go, yes, let's do something. So another, I have a project with a Santur player called Siavash Valipur, who again I met at Tamburi Mundi.
Yeah.
Who basically sent me a piece of a composition of his and said, I would like you to play on this. And in a very Persian way, I said, what do you want me to play? This is not music I'm familiar with or music that I understand. And he said, I want to see your mind. Which I think is a lovely thing for a musician to invite another musician to play and say, I want to see what's going on inside your head. I don't want you to play the traditional style or whatever. I want to understand. So that'll be coming out I think at the end of this month. And other than that, as all musicians are, I'm just doing everything that you do in order to, pay the rent and things like that. And we, in the hope that one day we can all go outside and gather an audience together again. I hope people will come and listen to music when this is all over, because they're going to need it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So that's kind of what I'm up to. I'm still, I miss desperately the kind of comradeship of other musicians, and I've been able to practice a lot, and I've been able to experiment a lot in here just with various noises that aren't ever going to see the light of day, but I did kind of figure out, what if I do this and attach this thing here and put this and all the rest of it.
Yeah, so maybe we have now the last chance to speak with Meg.
Oh, hey. Mac Ritchie to a white courtesy phone.
Oh, hold on. There's a little
Where are you, man?
There we go. Hi there. Found it. Hi there. Can you see me? Was my camera not on?
No, we can't see you.
Our video. There we go.
Hi.
There we go. Hi.
Hi, Meg.
Hi.
Hi.
Sorry, I was running around. I had a little bit of a crisis. I had lost my cell phone for the last hour.
Oh,
I am.
welcome.
Hi, Murat. So good to see you, my friend.
Yes.
Hello.
Nice to see you also. We already saw you playing different instruments.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
also
I had.
singing also.
I had my camera on while I was running around the house looking for my phone. And did you play the video, Dave? Is that what you had? I wasn't sure if you were playing a song or the video. That was fun. Yeah, Murat, I went to Portugal to go shoot the videos with Dave. And it was a fun opportunity to go and visit him and Freya and meet their dog Murphy. Good visit.
Murphy's under the table. He's here.
I was not sure if Dave went to the States or if you came to Europe.
Well, yeah. Dave came to my place twice to do our recording. We had 2 different sessions.
Yeah.
And on the first session, we kind of spent the time kind of deciding what it was that we wanted to work on. And at the end of the week, we knew very clearly what we wanted to work on. So there was another session that we had to plan for. How long was it, Dave? Was it another 6 months, 8 months later that you came back over to do another session?
I think it was 6 months. I think it was January, and then I came back at the end of June to July time, somewhere around then.
Yeah.
After we decided that what we were doing wasn't what we were doing. That idea in a collaboration where you go, and this is a really interesting thing in the nature of collaboration, is that when you start collaborating, the thing that you end up doing is not necessarily the thing that you decided that you were going to do at the beginning. Something else happens.
Yeah.
If it's a good collaboration. Otherwise, it's just, I'm going to ask this musician to play on my music, and that's different. But with this, we ended up with something that I wasn't expecting, Mac.
Yeah. Yeah, but you already met in Freiburg, right?
Yes.
So that was a nice, always. So I already talked about Dave, that it was always beautiful to meet him. But also it was so beautiful when you were here. And so also other colleagues and musicians, they always were surprised about you, about your energy, your positivity, not only your beautiful playing. I mean, beside this, there is another thing behind the musician. And so the spirit was so amazing that you brought to the festival. And Annette Meyer, the clarinet player,
Sure.
we talked about you, I think 2 days or 3 days ago she was here. And she was talking about the small tour that you had. She's amazing. And so I think the spirit is something that is beyond technique, beyond good sound, beyond brilliant playing or playing macams. So this is something that I really don't have many musicians like Dave. He has also so this has a special spirit, let me say, when you are in Tamburi Mundi, bringing people together, connect somehow, and having this energy. So yes, I wanted to say thank you again for this. Even it's 2 years ago.
For me, it's not hard being in a good mood when I'm at Tamburi Mundi. It's not hard being happy. Because the 3 times that I've come to Tamburi Mundi have been 3 of the best times of my life. And so I very much appreciate the festival and all the connections that I've made. You introduced, I mean, basically, it's all your fault that Dave and I know each other. So this is your responsibility that we're bringing all this joy into this world. Yeah, when Dave and I met each other, we just kind of knew we were friends. It's like we had a connection. We both can take the music very seriously and yet not take ourselves too seriously and just enjoy the process. I mean, it's not a competition. It's not who's better than who. It's, hey, are we all enjoying this? Are we all making each other enjoy this? And are we learning from each other? Music is a communal experience. It's about sharing ideas. It's not about a competition. And so it's more fun when it's a party. It's more fun when you're smiling and, everybody's, letting their hair down a little bit and relaxing.
Yeah, and I could hear this in this video that we listened together. By the way, I already listened before, and so this is something that I immediately you have immediately the audience, and that's something very special.
Rock and roll oud.
Yeah. So
there's a quality of that and as a musician, there's a quality that I and I love this in Mac, and I love this in a lot of musicians, and it's the quality to kind of step off the edge of the cliff and not know what's going to happen and not know quite what you're doing, and also to do things that are a lot of the things that we did as we were recording were technically very difficult. I don't know how to do this. I just don't know how to do this. I don't know how to make the Bodhrán sound like that. And rather than go, because I don't know how to, I can't. We were able, because of how kind of how much fun we were having, to go, I don't know how to do this, but I'm going to try, and we'll see what it sounds like. And if it doesn't sound any good, we'll throw it away and we'll try again. And as in a way to learn, in a way to kind of grow and develop, this ability to not hold on tightly, but to kind of allow stuff to flow through you, is really precious. It's really precious because we get into the, I must get this, I must practice this, and I must resolve this problem. Sometimes it doesn't happen for years, many years. You will, things that I learned 10 years ago, I went to study with Zohar Fresco, and things that I learned then, I only understand them now because I've lived that amount of life, Anyway, enough philosophy.
Yes. So thank you for coming, and also for our guests, because I think we scheduled to finish at 10 o'clock. But it's no problem. I mean, everyone who wants to go to sleep, so you don't have to stay here. But on the other side, you are welcome to join the websites or the Facebook sites of Dave and Meg. And I really enjoy the music. I think it was Fleetwood Mac, right?
Yes. Yes. Murat, so great to see you.
Thanks so much for inviting us on this is the first Tamburi Monday, isn't it?
It's the first Tamburi Monday, and we plan to do, I think, 8 or 10 Mondays, so the next 10 days, and we will see if this is something that is nice for people. I mean, also for you and also for people who join, so we can continue. But so this is a first step, and maybe we can establish something. We will see.
Brilliant. I really want to meet the hard rock duff player.
The hard rock duff player, yes.
There was a duff player on Mac that plays hard rock. Yeah.
We need to work with this person, I think.
Yeah, I think we do.
Okay.
I can't wait to see you again in person, my friend.
Yes, I hope one day. Yeah. Okay. So, also I would like to say goodbye to you and also to the audience in the YouTube channel. And so maybe next Monday, if you want to join us, you can come, and you can, as I said, you can write your comments, your suggestions, because as I said, it's the first Monday. And so take care, and yes, all the best. And if you want to practice the KONNAKOL or some of my compositions, and we will also have other guests in our weekly channel. Okay, so have a good time. Bye-bye.